What's up? So in today's video, I'm going to share with you how to stop people pleasing. You know why I laugh? Because this is something that I've struggled with my whole life. And I never really had any awareness on what I was actually doing until about 2 years ago, actually, I guess like 2 years ago in Bali. And I realized, holy shit, I'm actually a people pleaser. But I don't like to use labels. There is actually some truth to putting a label on something, because now you know what it is. Now you're aware of it, right? So people pleasing looks like, well, the symptoms are feeling exhausted all the time, feeling like you need to take a break from everything because you're just so overwhelmed. You got so many obligations and you got so many invites, like everyone needs something from you and you just feel like you don't have much time for yourself. This actually, what I've noticed and what I've learned is this is a boundary issue. People pleasing is a lack of boundaries, and boundaries is basically like, you know, sorry, I can't go there. I can't make it. You know, respecting your own time and not placing other people's needs and time ahead of yours. And so that's what I was doing. I was placing other people's needs, other people's time ahead of my own. And I would actually identify right now as a recovering people pleaser. Now I'm able to say no. And that's literally what people pleasing is. It's like an inability to say no. And where I stand on this topic is kind of interesting, because there's people that say in the beginning, say yes to everything, because that's how you get more opportunities. And I agree with that to a point, because I've done that, right? I've said yes to everything. And the result of that is, yes, I have got a lot of opportunities, but also I've got a lot of headaches as well, because I'm overexerting myself, right? And so I think there's a fine line between saying yes to everything and then pulling back sometimes and saying, no, you know, I'm going to spend some time by myself. And I think there's a healthy balance. Some people go to the extreme, they say yes to everything, or some people just say no to everything. And I think both of those, personally, like, depends on who you are as a person, right? Some people I know, like, they're extremely productive, successful, and they say no to almost everything. So there's those people, right? And maybe you're one of those people. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's some people who just say yes to everything, and they're also very successful. But it's the people that say yes to everything but feel exhausted. Those are the people that this video is for. How do you stop being a people pleaser? Because you know what the symptoms are. You know how you feel every day. You're like, oh, fuck. Oh, I don't get any time for myself. Like, can I take a breath? And you just don't feel that happy because you don't feel like your time is your own, because you're giving your time to everyone else but yourself. And so this is something that I've experienced, right? Like, I regularly experience that feeling, and a fear, well, I'm not sure if you have this fear, but a fear of mine that I've had, that I've been recently going into and working on is, wow, when I get more successful, I'm going to have more people that like me and more people that want my energy and my time. And fuck, I can't handle all of that. That's a fear that I have, right? And I've been working on this fear and trying to peel back the layers and going deep on it. This is a problem of boundaries. The problem is not that you're people pleasing. The problem is you don't have any boundaries, right? And boundaries is a big topic, and I'll make another video on this, but essentially it's like the ability to tell someone, I can't make it, and not have explanation. This is something I've learned, is to say no without, first of all, sounding like a dick, right? You don't want to piss people off for no reason, because people are inviting you to things, for example, because they want to be around you, right? So they genuinely like you. So if you come off as a dick, they're not going to invite you anymore. So it's like, the challenge for me has been, how do I say no without ruining this relationship? Because I like the person, the people who are inviting me to these things, but I just don't have the bandwidth or time to give to them, because I need to give it to myself right now. And so how do I communicate that to them in a way that lets them know that, oh, I'm just working on my stuff. What I've noticed is people with healthy boundaries are able to do this, right? But people with unhealthy boundaries, they can't do this. For example, if you're with a narcissist, I've had this happen to me. You set a boundary. If they're used to hanging out with you whenever they want, whenever they're free, oh, you want to hang out? Yeah, sure. But then one time they're like, oh, let's hang out tomorrow. Sorry, I can't. I'm going to take some time for myself. they just overstep the boundary because they'll just be like, no, it's cool. Like, we'll just be like 2 hours. No, sorry, I'm going to take some time for myself and just read my book. Even if you're explaining it, like, they still don't get it, right? And so those people, those relationships, I've learned, are toxic, because if you can't set a boundary with your friend and they respect it, then they're not really your friend, because they don't respect you. And respect is what all amazing, long-term, long-lasting relationships are built on. If they don't respect you, you cannot build something long-term. They're better off not being in your life. And this is something I've learned recently. So when it comes to how to say, I can't make it, what I do is I lead with a compliment first, number one. So compliment looks like this. I really appreciate you for inviting me. Means a lot. Well, it depends what it is, right? Like context. So let's say if they invite you to lunch. Oh, I'd love to make it, but I can't right now. I've got some work to do. I know you're giving a reason, but it's good. It's still good, right? That's what I do. The next step is to just say no. And some people do this, but for me, like, I see the world and people through the lens of compassion and love. Like, if I asked someone to come to lunch with me and they just said no, because there's some people that say no is a complete sentence. If they believe that, that's fine. I don't fully agree with that. But if I said, hey man, you want to come to lunch? No. For me, does this person actually like want to spend time with me? Like, no one really says no straight away, just like that. So you have to preface it with like, no, I can't make it. Can't make it today, but let's do another week. And that's another thing. So step one is to thank them for inviting you. And then step two is to tell them that you can't make it. And then step three is optional, but it's something that I do. Again, just sharing what I'm doing, not what you have to do, is I offer to meet another time, right? Because if I like the person, then I want to meet them. I want to hang out at some point. I just can't this time. So I'm going to be like, hey, you want to hang out, next week or the week after? I can do that. Yeah, sure. And again, people with healthy boundaries, this is easy for them. It works. People with unhealthy boundaries, you will notice who your real friends are when you start setting more boundaries in your life. Because the people that don't have boundaries in theirs, or think they're superior, or don't respect you, will start to show themselves once you start setting boundaries. And this is what happened to me too. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to tolerate that anymore. This person clearly doesn't respect my time. So I'm not going to waste my time with them. Simple. And this is something that takes work, takes practice. You can't just watch a video and be like, oh yeah, I know how to set boundaries. I know how to stop being a people pleaser. You got to actively do it and face the rejection and face the judgments and, all the things that happen when you start telling people no. Instead of saying, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can go. Yeah. Think about what's important to you. Who's important to you? Who do you want to build a deeper connection with? And everything filters through that lens. Who do you want to have more experiences with? And this is how you stop being a people pleaser, is just getting clear on those things. As cliche as it sounds, learning how to say no. I'm not saying this as I'm a saint. I'm still going through this and learning this stuff, It's an ongoing process. But the more you do it, the better you get. So before, I never had any boundaries. I was just like, yeah, sure. Aaron, you want to go here? Yeah, sure. Aaron, you want to do this? Yeah. But now, I felt the pain of doing that for too long. And now I'm no longer accepting myself to do that because I'm loving myself more. So I've got to fill my cup up before anyone else. If I'm not good, if I haven't done my stuff for the day, then no one gets anything of me because I haven't done what I need to do. If I focus on every day doing things for others, I'm starting to feel less confident in myself, less belief in myself, and less energy to do the things that I want to do because I'm doing everything for everyone else. That for me is really what how to stop being a people pleaser is all about, is just start focusing more on yourself and putting yourself first rather than other people. And it comes from trauma, right? And again, that's another video, but the trauma from a people pleaser, like, oh, when I receive love is when I do something for other people. So that's when you keep doing that, right? Because you receive love that way when you're growing up. Like I received love when I did something for my mom, right? So, if I do something for her, then I get love. And then you start learning how to please people from an early age. And that's trauma response. If you don't heal that, then you're going to keep doing that. And I notice it now when I talk to my mum, for example. Like, she's probably not aware of this. We haven't spoke about this, but like when I please her, then that's, I feel loved because she's so grateful, and that shows up in my intimate relationships too. Like, I do so much and then expect a lot back, you know, and it's not a healthy dynamic. And so again, these are all the things I've been working on to work through. So I hope this video helped you understand more of what people pleasing is, and also how to stop being a people pleaser. And again, it's just action. So the next time you're invited out somewhere but you don't want to go, instead of saying yes, start practicing saying no in a nice way. What I shared before, the framework that I just thought of, which is thank them for inviting you, tell them you can't make it, and then optional is to offer them another time that you can meet up. And that's it. That's that simple. A lot of people just say, oh, I can't make that time. That's fine too. You know, oh, I can't make it. I can't make it then. How about then? How about tomorrow? You know, and this is a nice way to not overexert yourself, but still maintain your relationships. And then you'll also see who is going to respect your boundaries and who's not. So it's a win-win either way. So hope you enjoy implementing this, and let me know if you got any feedback in the comments. And again, if you really struggle with this and you want to talk to someone like myself, go ahead and book your call. Just click the link below this video, and we can get on the phone and talk about this and other issues as it pertains to relationships and mastering yourself, because that's what I'm all about. All right, talk to you soon. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.